He made the first cut, with his hands trembling in the freezing cold. Just days before, he had diagnosed himself with appendicitis, stranded in the middle of an Antarctic expedition with no help in sight. To survive, he assigned tasks to his team. Some held a mirror, others handed him tools, and all stood ready in case he passed out. As the surgery progressed, the reflection in the mirror became too disorienting, so he relied only on touch. After nearly 2 exhausting hours, he successfully removed his appendix and stitched himself up, pulling off one of the most extreme self-surgeries ever. She pulled out a tiny wiggling worm from her eyeball. Over the next few weeks, she discovered 14 more. They were less than half an inch long and wriggled on her eye. At the hospital, doctors discovered this had never occurred in a human before. You see, a fly landed on her eye a few weeks prior. Before she managed to swat it away, the fly had given her a parasite. Fortunately, after removing all the worms, she made a full recovery. As snow piled up and temperatures dropped, he knew he couldn't survive in his car. He noticed others were also trapped in their vehicles nearby. Determined to help, he knocked on car windows and gathered over 20 people. But they needed to find shelter fast. Using a brake pad from a car, he smashed the glass door of a school. Inside, they found warmth, food, and a safe place to wait out the storm. He even left a note apologizing for the break-in, explaining their situation. The man saved 20 lives that night, ensuring that everyone was safe from the blizzard. They pulled apart old ropes to stuff them in the tiny gaps between the planks. Then they soaked the old ropes, known as oakum, in tar, making it sticky and waterproof. This tar-filled oakum blocked water from leaking into the ship. After filling all the seams, they painted the entire hull with more tar for extra protection. Once the hull was sealed, the ship was ready to face the ocean. If you cut a planarian in half, each half starts to grow. It begins with special cells that gather at the wound and seal it off. These cells can turn into any type of tissue needed to rebuild the missing parts. The front piece will grow a new tail, and the back piece grows a new head. Soon, both worms start moving and eating again, and in just a week or two, you'll have 2 worms for the price of 1. When they stepped on the nightingale floor, their weight would push on a series of metal clamps hidden beneath the floorboards. These clamps would rub against nails that held them loosely in place, and the friction would make a distinct chirping sound just like a nightingale. These early alarm systems were used in some Japanese castles to alert the guards, who immediately rushed to stop the intruder. If you somehow hollowed out your skin, some people think you could actually inflate it like a balloon if you stitched up all the openings. But your skin is made up of tiny little holes, causing air to slowly leak out. And even if you somehow manage to create an airtight seal, the delicate skin, like your eyelids, isn't as stretchy as rubber. As the skin inflated, the pressure would just cause it to tear. The man was found dead on the beach, with no ID and all labels removed from his clothes. In his pocket, police discovered a tiny scrap of paper with the words "Tamam Shud," meaning finished in Persian. The torn page matched a rare book that was mysteriously found in a car parked nearby. And inside the book was a phone number and a strange code. Police embalmed him and publicized the case, but no one ever successfully identified him. To this day, the cryptic code and the man's identity have never been definitively solved.